All right, welcome back. I hope you have some idea of percentage profit and how to do VAT, and everything's going smoothly. We're now going to look at simple interest. And this idea of interest is fundamental to the growth of our civilizations. As long as there's been money, as soon as I don't have money and I need to borrow money, I'm not just going to be able to borrow the money and pay it back. That's what happens with your mom and your dad. But in the real world, with financial institutions, if I lend you money, I'm going to expect you to pay me back my money plus some extra money. And that extra money we call interest. But it can work the other way around as well. If you have the money, then you can lend your money to the bank. And the bank can make some money off you, or the bank's going to pay you for you giving them your money, and they use your money to make other investments, and so they want to have your money so they can use it. So they're going to pay you, not a lot, but they pay you in interest. So whenever we borrow or invest, there's this idea of interest. Okay, so financial institutions, that's like your Absa banks or your Capitec or your Coronations or Momentums. Those are financial institutions. And if you deposit money, you're going to gain interest. But if you borrow money to buy your car or to buy a house, then the financial institution is going to gain the interest. Someone is always paying the interest and someone's always gaining it. So bear that in mind with all of these problems. Where is the interest going to it? Am I paying it more, or am I receiving interest in what I do? Okay, the amount of interest paid depends on the interest rate. So the interest rate is a percentage of how much I borrow. If I borrow 100 Rand, you're going to expect me to pay back maybe 10 Rand more. But if I borrow 1,000 Rand, or 10 Rand out of 1,000 Rand, that's not really fair. You're lending me a lot of money. You want more money back. So then you would want, for example, 100 Rand return on your investment. So those rates we always quoted as a percentage. Okay, so simple interest, and simple interest doesn't really exist in the real world, but it's a really helpful way for us to get our heads into how investing and borrowing money works. And simple interest, we keep things simple by saying that the amount of interest you earn is always based off that principal amount. And your principal amount is the amount at the beginning, at the start of your investment, at the beginning. And then they're saying here that if it's simple interest, then the amount of interest that you earn is going to be exactly the same every year. So if I earn 100 Rand my first year, every year for the next 50 years, I'm only going to receive 100 Rand. Doesn't sound very fair, is it? And it's not. And we're going to learn about compound interest very soon, which is a much fairer way of earning interest. But simple interest is very useful as a starting point. So let's go and look, how can we work this out? Nicholas is investing 5,000 Rand into a bank account for 4 years at 8% per annum simple interest. Calculate the value at the final amount of his investment. Calculate the value of the final amount of his investment. So let's think about this now. What are all of these things here? Well, this here is his money. He's depositing this money into the bank account, which means he is going to receive the interest. Now, if it's simple interest, the amount he receives each year is going to be the same. And how do we work that out? Well, it says he's going to receive 8% of that amount of money every year. So maybe our first step should be, well, what is 8% of 5,000 Rand? Okay, well, 10% would be 500 Rand. So he's going to receive less than 500 Rand every year. It's important that we have some idea of what our answer should be. And so what does he receive in that first year? He receives 400 Rand in that year. Well, if it's simple interest, then he's going to receive the same amount every year. So for 4 years, they're going to pay him 400 Rand every year. Well, that's going to be 1,600 Rands worth of interest. This is good. This is extra money that they're going to pay him. But now what they wanted to know is, what is the final value of his investment? How much money is in the bank account? Remember, he put 5,000 Rand in there. But now, by leaving it in there, he's earned an extra 1,600 Rand, which means he would have a total of 6,600 Rand after 4 years. Not bad going, eh? Alright, now Vuyo is borrowing 3,500 from a loan shark. Why is it a loan shark? Well, he's charging a high interest rate. He's making him pay here. He's charging him this rate of 14.2% per annum per year. He's going to get every year 14% of that amount of money he's going to pay extra over a 3-year period. How much interest does he pay in total? So now we're only interested in how much interest he has to pay. So in his first year, what is 14.2 of, remember, percent of 3,500 Rand? So that is 497 Rand per year. Well, if he's borrowing this for 3 years, then it's going to be 497 Rand for 3 years. So we can take our answer and multiply that by 3. Now, obviously, you could have done this all in one step if that's how you thought about it. But he, in the end, is going to have to pay an extra 1,491 Rand. So not only does he have to pay back the 3,500, he's going to pay back this extra amount, which is just interest.